In today's video, we'll be examining 10 of the strangest religious practices in the world. All religions have symbols, relics, rites, and garments that may be sacred to their followers. That being said, some religions are known to have practices that are viewed as quite strange by the rest of the world. Welcome back to FTD Facts. I'm Sarah Carvalho, and today we'll be examining 10 of the strangest religious practices in the world according to Listverse. Starting off at number 10, we have the Mormon temple garments. Mormon underwear, officially called a temple garment or a garment of the holy priesthood, is worn by adult church members after their temple endowment, a ritual coinciding with missionary service or marriage. These personal garments are not allowed to be seen by anyone else, and you're not even allowed to talk about them with other people. They are actually made of a stiff white material, looking kind of like a t-shirt and long shorts, but adorned with sacred Mormon symbols. This garment, worn day and night, is believed to be a reminder of the sacred covenants made with the Lord and his holy house, a protective covering for the body, and a symbol of the modesty of dress and living that should characterize the lives of all the humble followers of Christ. Up next, we have the Islamic BURQA. The BURQA, or chadari, is a full body veil worn by women in some Islamic traditions. The BURQA covers the entire body, head, and face, leaving an opening for the eyes, which is then covered with a mesh screen. The BURQA has been attested since pre-Islamic times. Face veiling has not been regarded as a religious requirement by most Islamic scholars, past or present. However, some scholars, especially those belonging to the Salafi movement, view it as obligatory for women in the presence of non-related males. And up at number 8, we have the Scientology E-meter. Auditing is a religious practice believed to lead followers to higher states of spiritual awareness. The E-meter is a religious artifact believed to help an auditor, kind of like a therapist, and pre-clear, basically like the patient, locate areas of spiritual distress. The E-meter measures extremely low voltages in the psyche, the human soul, spirit, or mind. The pre-clear holds the meters, or electrodes, in both hands, and electrical energy passes down the wires of the E-meter through the person's body and back into the E-meter. When the person holding the electrodes thinks a thought, looks at a picture, re-experiences an incident or memory, or shifts some part of their reactive mind, the needle on the meter's dial will move. The needle reactions on the E-meter help the auditor analyze what issues need to be discussed or dealt with to lead to higher spiritual awareness for the pre-clear. Now, many of you might have heard about this. We're going to be talking about the refusal of blood transfusions. Jehovah's Witnesses believe that a human must not sustain their life with another's blood. It is their deep-seated religious conviction that Jehovah, or God, will turn his back on anyone who receives blood transfusions. Therefore, Jehovah's Witnesses regularly refuse transfusions for themselves and their children, as they believe the procedure creates a risk of losing eternal salvation. All right, moving on to the Jewish KAPPAROT. KAPPAROT is a customary atonement ritual practiced by some Jews on the eve of Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year in Judaism. Its central themes are atonement and repentance. The practice of KAPPAROT is one in which two specific biblical passages are recited, followed by taking hold of a live rooster or hen, which is then to be donated to the poor for consumption. The bird is waved over someone's head 3 times, while also reciting a short prayer 3 times. Symbolically, this transfers one's sins to the bird. The bird is then slaughtered in accordance with specific rules so that it is kosher. And up at number 5, the halfway point in today's video, we have shamanism. Shamanism is a religious practice that involves a shaman interacting with what they believe to be a spirit world through altered states of consciousness, such as trance. The goal of this is usually to direct spirits or spiritual energies into the physical world for the purpose of healing, divination, or to aid human beings in some other way. Shamans have been credited with the ability to control the weather, divination, the interpretation of dreams, astral projection, and traveling to upper and lower worlds. All right, let's transition to Mormon baptism of the deceased. This is an interesting one. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints believes that a deceased person can be baptized by proxy, which means that a Mormon can be baptized on behalf of someone who who has already passed away. Since millions of people lived and passed without learning the teachings of Jesus Christ or belonging to his church, these ceremonies are carried out on their behalf as a demonstration of love. These special baptisms can only be performed in designated receptacles in Mormon temples. Women act as proxies for women, and men act for proxies as men. And up at number 3, we have fire walking. Ooh, sounds like a painful one. Fire walking is the act of walking barefoot over a bed of hot embers or stones. Fire walking has been practiced by many people and cultures in all parts of the world, with the earliest known reference dating back to Iron Age India around 1200 BC. The participant is made to walk barefoot on a bed of embers or stone that are set on fire and are at an extremely high temperature. Religiously, its significance is said to be a gesture of paying respects to God, repelling evil influences, and purifying one's soul. Ooh, this next one is a painful one too. Self-flagellation. Self-flagellation is the disciplinary and devotional practice of flogging oneself with whips or other instruments that inflict pain. In Christianity, it is seen as a spiritual discipline. It is often used as a form of penance and is intended to allow the flagellant to share in the sufferings of Jesus, bringing his or her focus closer to God. Among Christians who practice this ritual, their beliefs of achieving a higher place in heaven, self-realization, the forgiveness of one's sins, and other people's sins are what drive them to participate in this act. All right, and all the way down at number 1 today, we have exorcism. Exorcism is a religious practice aimed at evil spirits to force them to abandon an object, place, or person. Technically, it's a ceremony used in both Jewish and Christian traditions to expel demons from persons who have come under their power. The exorcism of persons possessed by demons is carefully regulated by canon law, which states that an exorcism can only be exercised by an ordained priest or higher prelate, with the express permission of the local bishop, and only after a careful medical examination to exclude the possibility of mental illness has been completed. All right, friends, this brings us to the end of today's video on 10 of the strangest religious practices in the world. I hope you enjoyed learning something new with me today. Let me know in the comments below which of today's religious practices surprised you the most. Now remember, it's not our job to judge other people's religious practices, but we can certainly discuss them and the reasonings behind them without needing to offend each other. So please remember that as you comment. And on your way out, please give us a like and subscribe to show us your love, and we will see you right here next time for more facts. Bye.